named Zechariah. His wife Elizabeth was also a descendant of Aaron. Both of them were upright in the sight of God, upholding all the Lord's commandments and regulations blamelessly. You could say they walked the line. But they had no children because Elizabeth was barren, and they were both well along in years. Once, when Zechariah's division was on duty, and he was serving as a priest before God, he was chosen by law, according to the custom of priesthood, to go into the temple of the Lord and bring a fire of incense. And when the time for burning of the incense came, all the assembled worshipers were praying outside. Then an angel of the Lord appeared to him, standing at the right side of the altar of incense. When Zechariah saw her, he was startled and was gripping with fear. But the angel said to him,
"Do not be afraid, Zechariah. Your prayer has been heard. Your wife will bear you a son, and you are to give him the name John. He will be a joy and delight to you, and many will rejoice because of his birth, for he will be great in the sight of the Lord. He is never to take wine or other fermented drink, and he will be filled with the Holy Spirit in September. Many of the people of Israel will he bring back to their Lord God, and he will go on before the Lord in the spirit and power of Elijah to turn the hearts of the fathers to their Lord, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the righteous, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord."
Zechariah asked the angel,
How can I be sure of this? I am an old man, and my wife is well along in years.
The angel answered,
"I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and tell you this good news. And now you will be silent and not be able to speak until the day this happens, because you do not believe my words, which will come true at the proper time."
Meanwhile, the people were waiting for Zechariah and wondered why he stayed so long in the temple. When he came out, he could not speak to them. The people realized he had a vision in the temple, for he kept making signs to them, but remained unable to speak. And he thought to himself, "If you could read my mind, why me, Lord?" When his time of service was completed, he returned home. He was on the road again. After this, his wife Elizabeth became pregnant, and for 5 months remained in seclusion at the Orange Blossom Special.
Has done this for me in these days. These days he has shown his favor and taken away my disgrace among the people.
In the 6th month, God sent the angel Gabriel to Nazareth, a town in Galilee, near Jackson, to a virgin, a girl from the north country, pledged to be married to a man named Joseph, a descendant of David. The virgin's name was Mary. The angel went to her and said,
Greetings, you who are highly favored, the Lord is with you. Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God. You will be with a child and giving birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord God will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over the house of Jacob forever. His kingdom will never end. How is this peace since I am a virgin?
the angel answered,
The Holy Spirit will come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow shall you so the Holy One on to be born will be called the Son of God. Even Elizabeth, your relative, is going to have a child in your old age, and he who was said to be and is in her 6th month, for nothing is impossible with God. I will give to be as you said.
Then the angel left her. She told Joseph, At that time, Mary got ready and hurried to a town in them old cotton fields called Judah, where she entered Zachariah's home and greeted Elizabeth. When Elizabeth heard Mary's greeting, the baby leaped in her womb. She said, and Elizabeth was filled with the Holy Spirit. In a loud voice, she exclaimed,
Blessed are you among the women, and blessed is the child you will bear. But why am I so favored that the mother of my Lord should come to me? I think so. As soon as the sound of your greeting reached my ears, the baby in my womb leaped for joy. Blessed is she who has believed that what the Lord has said to her will be accomplished.
and Mary said,
My soul prospers the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior, for he has been mindful. The humble state of his servant shall be now on. All generations will call me blessed. For the mighty one has done great things. For me, holy is his name. His mercy extends to those who fear him. For from generation to generation, he has performed mighty deeds with his arm, and has scattered those who are proud in their thoughts. He has brought down the rulers from their thrones, but has lifted the humble. He has filled the hungry with good things, but has sent the rich away empty. He helped his servant Israel, remember to be merciful to Abraham and his forever, even as he said to our fathers.
Mary stayed with Elizabeth for about 3 months, and then returned home. She told Elizabeth,
We'll meet again.
when it was time for Elizabeth to have her baby, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown her great mercy, and they shared her joy. On the 8th day, they came to circumcise the child. They were going to name him after his father, Zachariah, or Danny Boy, or maybe a boy named Sue. But his mother spoke up and said, they said to her, there is no one among your relatives who has that name. Then they made signs to his father to find out what he would like to name the child. He asked for a writing tablet, and to everyone's astonishment, he wrote, his name is John. Immediately his mouth was opened and his tongue was loosened, and he began to speak, praising God. The neighbors were all filled with awe, and throughout the hill country of Judah, people were talking about all these things. Everyone who heard this wondered about it, asking, "When, then, is the child going to be?" For the Lord's hand was with him. His father Zechariah was filled with the Holy Spirit and prophesied.
Praise to be the Lord, the God of Israel, because he has come to redeem his people. He has raised up a horn of salvation for us in our house and the house of his servant David, as he said to the holy prophets of long ago, salvation from our enemies that were the long black veil, and from the hand of all who hate us, to show mercy to our Father and the Redeemer of whole covenant, the who he swore to our father Abraham, to receive from the hand of our enemies and to enable us to serve him without fear and holiness and righteousness before him all our days. And you, my children, would be called the prophet of the Most High, for you will go on before the Lord to prepare the way for him, to give us people the knowledge of salvation through the forgiveness of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, by which the raising of the sun will come to us from heaven, to shine on those living in darkness, the man in black, and into the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the path of peace.
And the child grew and became strong in spirit. He lived in the desert until he appeared publicly to Israel. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Marius was governor of Syria. And everyone went to his own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judah, to Bethlehem, the town of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child.